AITA for hiding my pregnancy and refusing to fulfill a dying wish. After all that, my husband and I found out we were expecting a child in 2020, and our daughter was born on February 27, 2021. From either side of the family, we kept the pregnancy a secret from them. After my daughter was released from the hospital, she notified all of the involved parties. After I had 2 panic attacks over notifying our family, my husband recommended that we keep the pregnancy a secret from them. After the last miscarriage, I was concerned that I would increase everyone's hopes this time around, and then miscarry again. The only people who knew about it were my employer, his boss, and our doctor, who were all in the same boat as us. We didn't want to release any photographs of her or announce her birth until both of our families had had a chance to meet her and get to know her better. We sent photographs of her to both parties and asked that they hold off until we made a public notice on social media about the situation. My mother-in-law sent the images to me within an hour of receiving them. There was something I didn't catch myself doing. My family was okay with the fact that they didn't know. They were just ecstatic about the arrival of the new child. His family was enraged that we had kept our pregnancy a secret from them for so long. They were upset that they were unable to have a gender reveal party and a baby shower for their child. Please don't get me wrong, they are ecstatic about our child. Even though they are in awe of her, I don't believe they will ever be able to stop thinking about how I hurt them and how I could be so selfish as to deny them the lovely joys of pregnancy. In a few weeks, my child will be 1. My daughter is the only grandchild at the moment, and my mother-in-law is on her deathbed. She has asked that, as a final desire, since we did not have a gender reveal or baby shower, we have a lavish birthday party for my daughters first as a way of saying thank you for everything. It was immediately switched off by me. My child is a regular newborn who has never had any significant interactions with anybody outside of the household. When we went to see my parents for the first time in a year, it took her around 30 minutes before she allowed us to touch her. Despite the fact that she has visited my parents considerably more often than is due to the fact that we live closer to them, she continues to react in this way. Suppose you're in charge of planning an anniversary celebration for her that will include 20 or more individuals she hasn't seen in a long time. I can promise you that the only thing she would do would be to dig her way into my rib cage. My mother-in-law is now annoyed, and his family is enraged as well. In light of the fact that he loves his mother and that she is dying, my husband proposed that we just give the party and get it over with, and if anything occurs, we'll deal with it ourselves. Because, for starters, I'm not going to put my child in a difficult situation for the sake of others. I informed him it wasn't going to happen. And 2, it won't be us who are in charge of it. It will be only me. Due to the fact that she will not allow him to touch her in such a new environment, I will be the one to deal with an upset kid. I'll be the one who has to deal with family members who don't understand boundaries and who want to touch or hug her, which will anger her much more than she already is. My husband agreed, expressed regret, and decided to drop the matter. But at the end of the day, I'm still a jerk because I kept the pregnancy a secret and refused to honor the dying wish of a grandmother who wants to commemorate the lives of at least one of her grandchildren before she passes away. Story 2. AITA for kicking my friend off our vacation for making a joke about my boyfriend. So my buddies and I are planning a vacation to Miami, Florida next month. We've been planning it for about a month, and it was initially going to be a float trip inside our state with 16 of our college friends. Before anybody gets too worked up about the pandemic, we're all properly vaccinated via our university. One of my buddies, Jay, in particular, has an extremely strict work schedule. We worked around this by scheduling her on days of the week that are less convenient for the majority of people in order to include her. Despite having had many week-long vacations with other people since April, she refuses to take time off work for the trip. Nevertheless, we tried our utmost to accommodate her. We all remained on school for the holiday, so she, myself, 2 friends, and my boyfriend, Aid, spent the night drinking and playing games at my apartment since my roommate had gone home. That night, she made a casual remark about how she thought my partner was attractive and would love for him to be her New Year's kiss, which I dismissed as intoxicated admissions and disregarded since she didn't make any efforts. She did fall onto his lap at one point, but he swiftly withdrew her. Now, we had to look for lodging for our vacation. We trimmed our party to only myself, S, J, A, and A's buddy after altering from the planned float trip, since I and our other friend, S, decided to travel to Florida. We were looking at a 3-bedroom property on Airbnb with adequate beds for everyone. While discussing sleeping arrangements with S and J, Jay decided to half-joke about how she wanted to sleep with and that I wouldn't mind since we'd taken breaks previously to visit other people. It's worth noting that Ed and I had been dating for 3 years at this time. We've broken up to visit other people once before, when we went on summer vacation during our first year since our hometowns are too far apart to see each other. We were 18/19 years old at the time and haven't done it since. I stated my displeasure with the joke, and she continued shrugging it off, but I don't trust her. While speaking privately with S, she also mentioned that it seemed strange. I ended up rescheduling our stay and purchasing tickets by 1 day, which would preclude Jay from attending due to her work schedule. At first, I simply stated it was because those were the cheapest dates, but she appeared to pick up on the fact that it was done due of what she said right away. She's now calling me as scheming me to hell. S said it was surprising, but she knows why I did it and why Jay is upset. Because we haven't included in the problem, he has no notion. He is just aware of the new dates and is content with them. AITA. Update. I've received several comments and mails in response to my post. There was a lot of advice, but I eventually opted to adopt the 2 most prevalent ones. Talking to and confronting Jay, I also used fictitious names rather than initials. I chatted with Adam. Today after I got off work around 2 hours ago. He did remark that he believed something was wrong because of the abrupt change in days Jessica J. couldn't attend. He further said that she abruptly asked to follow him on Instagram and attempted to DM him. She doesn't have his phone number or Snapchat, so it stands to reason that this is her only means of contact. She had previously followed him, but he unfollowed her after she liked all 400-ish of his posts dating back to 2013 or so, which he found strange. I told him what she stated in the group chat, showed him the texts, and explained why the dates had altered. I'd also apologized for lying about the genuine rationale, but he stated he knows where I'm coming from, but it would have been wonderful if he could have guided me through it rather than me bearing Jessica's intentions alone. He understands why I'm concerned, but he was also under the notion that I feared he'd cheat on me with her and was unhappy. We did, however, get through it as well. When I mentioned addressing Jessica, he stated it's best to do it jointly, so she thinks it's a common agreement that she's being a little too much. I phoned/FaceTimed her a few times, but she didn't answer when we called from Adam's phone since it was an unknown number with a different area code. I confess that I hadn't really prepared the discussion or what I'd say, so it was a little shaky. I apologized for not informing her that she would be removed from the trip, but I also reminded her that her remarks and prior behavior were inappropriate. She knew Adam and I were serious. We publicly talked marriage once we complete our professions, yet she still made such harsh statements. Adam remained mostly silent, save to express his displeasure that he was being talked in such a negative light behind his back and by someone he believed was a close friend of mine. Jessica accused us of conspiring against her behind her back, and she blamed me personally of setting her up and exaggerating the incident. She also made it a point to remark that if she really wanted to Adam, she could have grabbed him from me in an instant. She honestly feels that by not aggressively seeking to destroy my relationship or be a homewrecker, she has been benign to me the whole time. She departed both our trip group chat and our larger circles group chat without saying anything, which raised a few eyebrows. Despite my best efforts to keep this incident private, Adam ended up telling everyone what had transpired, which elicited diverse reactions. A few others agreed we did what needed to be done, but Jessica's close friend said we bullied her without reason.